Welcome to Keeping It Realty.
Welcome back to Keeping It Realty. I'm your host, Martha Smith.
And I'm your co-host, Natalia Pierantoni.
And today's guest is someone who plays a huge role in the home buying process.
Yes, we're going to cover home inspections, the different types, why you need them, and what they cover.
Please help us welcome Phillip Jorge with House Doctors Home Inspectors.
You got it. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, welcome to the show, Phil. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so Phil, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, how'd you get started, and then how long you've been doing inspecting.
So I'm Phil. I'm a licensed home inspector here in Florida. I've been inspecting for 4 years. Got into home inspections kind of down a rabbit hole. I did a lot of reading, saw that a lot of people had their hands in real estate, so started looking into what I can do in real estate. And I started off on the wholesale side, so I've been doing real estate for about 9 years now, inspecting for, but I came across, I didn't know what I wanted to do, to be honest. So I wanted to stay in the field of real estate. So I looked at lending, looked at appraising, looked at inspecting, and realized, one day I'd like to have investment properties. It'd be really nice to know what I'm looking at. So
that's smart.
Started looking into what it would take to become a home inspector. So once I started looking it up, they didn't require it, but it was recommended to have construction experience, and I had none. I didn't know anything about construction. I wasn't handy, and so to me, it was just like, I need to do this. So posted a few ads on Craigslist and started doing construction while I took my class. So I did a couple years of construction work while I did my course to become a home inspector. Passed the course, passed the exam, then took the final, passed the final, and then I've been working with house doctors for 4 years now, and I love it. Some days I see some really cool things. Some other days I see some, what am I looking at? As you've probably seen on some of the reports.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so there's some very interesting things that we come across from home inspections, but yeah, just kind of fell across it. Just was something that I found an interest in and just kind of went all in, and here we are.
Yeah, and you're great at it too.
Can
you tell our listeners, Phil, what a general home inspection is? Like, what does it cover?
Yeah, so general home inspection, so we look at everything, right? Everything that we can visibly see. We're looking at the roof, the electrical, the plumbing, the AC. We're documenting age, how things functioning. So we're looking at the windows, the grading. So everything that we can visually see and look at, we're going to test and inspect. So I like to tell people, I look at every home as if I'm purchasing the home. So I want to make sure that what I'm writing in the report reflects what I would want to know. So
exactly.
We're testing everything. Everything is looked at and addressed. Now, obviously, we can't see behind walls, and there's other things we can't see below ground. Now, there are some additional services that you could do, but a general home inspection is going to cover basically all the appliances inside, obviously the windows, everything inside that we can test and look at, we're going to look at. So that'd be more so the general, as we're looking at all the home and its components, but there are some additional services that we can offer that are good to have depending on the home that the client is purchasing.
I got it. So with that being said, there are different types of inspections, right? So can you break it down as far as what's a 4-point inspection?
Sure.
What's a wind make? So a lot of people can understand what
so
that is.
There's a handful of them, but we'll touch base on the 4-point.
Sure.
The 4-point is roof, electrical, plumbing, AC. So usually that's what insurance is looking for. So there's several insurance inspections that the insurance would want. One is going to be the 4-point. So those are the 4 main items. So if there's any issues within those categories, a lot of the times they have to be addressed prior to closing. As you guys are already aware of, these things have to be done in order to clear the 4-point in order to bind insurance. So there's also what's called the wind mitigation. So the wind mitigation is not a matter of, it's not a pass or fail. It's just a matter of what's there. So there's certain credits that the homeowner can get, which is the roof geometry, the roof to wall attachment, basically what's securing the trusses to the house. There's the geometry of the roof, as I mentioned, the underlayment, the type of nails, is it permanent? So these are all credits that you get that would go towards the premium of your insurance. And there's also what's called the roof certification, which insurance wants to know, hey, what's the condition of the roof? It's just solely focused on just the roof. We want to know what the condition of it is, life expectancy. So there's a few insurance inspections. A lot of the times when you're purchasing a home, 4-point wind mitigation is almost 100% necessary.
Yeah.
It really just depends, though. Sometimes cash buyers don't necessarily need that or don't want insurance. Newer homes don't necessarily need a 4-point. They would need a wind mitigation, but there's a few insurance inspections. There's a few other inspections that we also do that aren't part of a general, like a sewer scope. Sewer scope is where we put a camera down the plumbing line to see the condition of the sewer line. What's it looking like? Is there any damage? Is there root intrusion? That's what's taking all of the solid waste and everything inside the house that you're flushing. It's going out to the sewer, whether that's a septic, which is another inspection that you can do. If you have a house that's on a septic, you want to get a septic inspection done. Now, that's not something we can do as home inspectors, because what you need is usually you're going to need, septic companies have a truck that they actually pump the septic. So what they would do, they'll pump the septic, look at the inside of the septic tank, see the condition, they look at the drain field, they test all that. So there's certain inspections that you can add on that we can do, such as a sewer scope, which I'm certified to do, which you do need a certification. There's air quality and mold testing, which requires a separate certification, but it's actually very important because sometimes there's mold in a house and you don't know, and you do an air quality test and it's airborne and you're inhaling that mold, which is obviously an issue to your health. So there's several different additional inspections that you can do. Also, like well testing, it's good to know what the condition of the well is the motor for the well pump functional. So there's a lot of add-ons that you can do. You don't have to do them all. It really just depends on the house.
Do you ever do like a general inspection and maybe see something's wrong with the plumbing and then recommend, hey, I recommend you do what'd you call it, a plumbing scope?
The sewer scope.
A
yes.
sewer scope.
Yep.
I've started recommending a sewer scope on all homes these days. I've seen issues with new construction. I've seen issues with middle-aged homes, and I've seen issues with old homes. So I was originally, when I started, was, hey, we're going to do it. I was recommending on new construction because I've seen issues with new construction, and then homes built prior to 75. They stopped installing cast iron plumbing in 75. So the cast iron is prone to leaking, and there's issues that arise with cast iron. Now I'm recommending sewer scopes on all homes because I recently did an inspection. Everything was clean. It was a vacant house. There's nothing wrong with the plumbing. Homeowner moved in. They were living there a couple days. You can only imagine a sewer line is about 70-ish feet. It depends. It could range from 30 to 100 to 140. It just depends on where the house sits and where it meets the sewer line. This was a house that sat a little bit further back on the property and had a longer sewer line. Turns out that they had a grease clog. The previous homeowners were pouring grease down the drain, and it balled up, and everything backed up. And I like to let people know, it's like, we're only there for like 3 hours at a time for most inspections. We can test everything, and not an issue can come up, but then, something can arise when you move in, like in this instance.
Exactly. And
You
then
run the water a little bit and now you
Everybody's now living there, right?
So what do you do in a situation like that? Do you is there something that blows it out, or do you have to go in there and cut the...
Yes, there is.
Is
You
that
could
the
do a
worst inspection you have to do?
Well, no, that's going to be with a plumber. So they can
got it.
hydrojet the line, which is a jet that goes inside the line, and it'll push everything out. Now, if it doesn't push everything out, then there might be an issue. But in this instance, when I found out about this, they told me it was just a grease clog. They hydrojetted the line. It
very
cleared
nice.
it, and everything was good. But just take that as an FYI. Don't put grease down your drain. A lot of people
Yeah.
think it's okay. Put
Pro
a little
tip.
harden.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Pro
do
tip.
it. It's
Love
not
it.
recommended, but it's super important because you just don't know. The worst thing is you move into your brand new house and the sewer line backs up and you've got all that stuff coming into your bathtub.
Exactly.
Less than ideal.
So you mentioned some instances when you would recommend a home inspector, like obviously a buyer who's buying a home, a pre-listing maybe inspection. If you're thinking about selling, you hire him. What about like after major renovations? Would you somebody that's renovating their home and hired a contractor, would you recommend getting an inspection done then?
It's always good to get a third party to look at it, right?
Yeah.
Because the person that's doing the work, they're going to tell you their work is great. So
Right.
we come in as a third party and we can either confirm or deny that fact. So it's a good practice. Some people do it, some people don't. I also recommend a re-inspection on some cases, especially new construction. I've seen so many times where I'll have a report that's, let's say, 100 pages long, and if I go back and re-inspect it, 60 pages of the report are addressed, and we still got another 40 pages.
Right.
So the builder will tell you everything is done. This doesn't go for all builders because some builders are amazing, but there's some other builders, of course, that they'll tell you it's done, and you believe them. You
Right.
expect everything to be done. But it's good to have us come back and make sure, because we represent, you and your clients. We're not working for the builder. And I just did an inspection last week. I did a sewer scope, and some of these builders, they'll write on a clean out, hey, it was scoped by a third party and everything was clean. Fortunately, the clients that were buying the house called me and they said, look, we still want to do a sewer scope. I'm really glad they did. They had what's called a belly, where the line was holding water. It was about 12 feet where it's underwater. So what happens is when the sewer line's holding water, it can back up into the house. So there's clearly an issue in the line. So it goes to show, like, they're still doing it. These people are working for the builder, and they're signing off on things where we're coming here and we're representing. We're looking out for you and your clients, which is, it's unfortunate you can't necessarily trust them, but that's why we start recommending
It's
all
so
of these.
important.
Yeah, because you just don't know. It's good to double check. So back to, hey, should you do it after renovation? Yeah, you have somebody that's working.
Yeah.
They're humans. Things can happen. we're just another set of eyes that can tell you, hey, look, indeed, it's okay or it's not okay. You know?
When in doubt,
Also for
inspect
new
it.
construction, right? We just
Yes.
worked on one,
Yes.
and he recommended a pre-dry inspection.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you.
Drywall inspection. Yes.
Yes. So the pre-drywall is another good one because there's things that we can see. There's a lot of like penetration points. Like, hey, you need to spray foam it so everything is tight. There was a leak from the I think it was the main meter that was already leaking when we were there. So there's a lot of things that once the drywall goes up, we can't see what's going on behind the drywall. So you're getting a new house. Just do the inspections.
Yeah,
I
save
don't like
yourself
to,
some money.
right. I don't like to sell anything that I don't like to push anything I don't believe in, but I really believe that these are good things to do because err on the side of caution. You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a house. You might as well take all the necessary steps to make sure things are good because that's what we're here for. We're here to confirm that they're good or not, and if they're not, let's address them before they become a problem.
Yeah, and those major items can get really expensive.
Yes. But especially with the sewer scope, you know, like a sewer line. When you're digging up a sewer line, if you have to replace a sewer
I just
line,
had that happen
I was
to
gonna
me.
say, yeah,
I
your
just had that
story.
happen. It was like $25,000 worth of damage. They had to rip through tile, rip
oh my goodness, yeah.
piping. I think it was like 59 feet of piping that had to be redone, and then the build back of everything.
If you're cutting through slab, it's
Yeah.
expensive. I
Yep.
just did one where I did a scope, and it was they sent me the bill. It was like $60,000 because they had to cut through the slab. So, like you said, you're getting rid of everything that's there, and then you have to refinish everything, which is the slab again, the flooring. If it's the kitchen, you got to redo the cabinets. There's so much that goes into it. People don't realize it.
And
It's
the
like,
way
just do
we
it.
caught it, was the inspector was like, there's some congestion in the plumbing. I would recommend that a plumber come out and look at it.
Yeah.
The plumber came out. They tried to do that jet that you,
hydrojet.
the
hydrojet.
hydrojet. That didn't solve it, and then it ended up being like tree roots that had grown into the piping and broke piping, and it was a mess.
Bigger
So, yeah.
damage.
It's a good point. Like, people love to have trees by their house because of the shade and it looks pretty, but to me, it's always a red flag because
Yeah.
one, it can damage sidewalk, driveway, the foundation of the house, and especially the plumbing. So even if I'm seeing a clean out here and I'm seeing tree roots here, I'm always going to tell you, get a sewer scope done. We don't know, again, is there tree roots that have gotten in there? I did a sewer scope on a cast iron. My camera went into the ground. The whole bottom of the line had rusted out. It was corroded. And so you're talking underneath the house, cast iron that's got 70 feet, probably going to be something in that range of what you spent to repair it.
Yeah, and that would be amazing for a buyer that's going to buy this, and then they see that this is happening. They know how much it's going to cost. They could very easily be like, you know what, I'm going to back out of this deal. I'm not going to move forward with this house,
Which is what
and
happened on
save
that house.
a bunch of
They backed
headaches.
out.
And
They backed out.
Yeah, but that's what my job is, to educate you and the clients, right? That's what I tell people. I get asked all the time, would you buy this house, or what are important things? Like, if I'm putting it on the report, it's important. It might be a small issue, but it can lead to a bigger issue. But I can never tell you if you should buy the house or not. That's not my job. My job is literally to come here and tell you everything you should know about the house, and that way you guys can do your job and talk to the clients, negotiate how you see fit.
Right.
My job is just to let you know everything that's
Well
going
said.
on. You guys can make an educated decision because I don't know what you got it for. I don't know what you intend to do with it. You just don't know the people.
Transparent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
you just
then
don't know
that's
the
how-
people's situation too, right? Like sellers, they might be willing to address everything. You just don't know.
That's
Yeah.
very true. Well, speaking about red flags, right? Any red flags to watch out for in a report? Like, let's say electrical.
I mean, if it's on my report,
Outdated.
I would say it's important to look at because I don't like to add too much fluff. Obviously, I like to add things that I think are important, but I think the big ticket items are going to be the 4-point items that we mentioned,
Right,
which
okay.
are roof, electrical, plumbing, and AC. So wouldn't necessarily say it's a red flag, but those are usually, if you're going to have repairs in those areas, they're sometimes a little bit more expensive.
Okay.
Or a slab, if the foundation, not necessarily a slab, but a crawl space. If there's issues with the foundation, that to me is more so, if I'm to be concerned about anything, it's really going to be more so a foundation. Now, everything can be fixed. So like I could tell people, everything's addressable, right? The whole point of getting this inspection is so that you know, and it can be addressed and fixed in the correct manner. But, you know, the foundation is something that's usually a little bit more expensive. If they have to jack up a foundation and the footers are in bad shape, you know, that becomes a little bit more. But everything can be addressed. The whole point is for me to let you know it's a problem so you can address it. So I don't like to tell people, I don't like to scare anybody, because if it can be addressed and they're willing to address it, most of the time a seller doesn't know it's an issue. And if they want to sell, they're going to address it. If not, it's going to come up
Exactly.
on the next inspection, or it's an issue that's going to continue to arise. So, you my job here is just to let you know what's going on.
Educate us.
Yeah, that's me. I'm here to educate you. That's what I look at.
Yeah.
As my job is basically a house teacher. I'm here to teach you about your house.
So do you have any tips for agents or for someone who's buying a home that you would say?
I would say to keep an eye out for everything when you're walking a house, but it's so hard because I know when somebody's looking at buying a house, they're looking at all the things they love about the house. So I've had so
Right.
many people come in and tell me, it's like, I'm coming here again because when I walked in, everything looked awesome.
Yeah.
Now I need to look at all the other stuff.
Right.
So my tip would be look for some things that might look kind of odd. I just had an agent actually text me today. He sent me some pictures. Goes, hey, I had a showing today. It looks like there was one of the buyer's agents sent me some pictures. Looked like there was some mold on the ceiling. He asked my opinion. I was like, yeah, it does look like it's mold. I can't confirm if it's mold. If anybody tells you it's mold without it being tested by a lab, don't take their word because mold has to be tested. You can test it for moisture to see if there's moisture in that area, which can lead to mold. And mold, there's such thing as active mold and mold that's not active, which are just the spores. In order for mold to be active, there's got to be a source of water. So if there's water, if it's looking like there's mold source, if there's mold spores and you test it and it's wet, that's an easy area for moisture to build and mold to form. And obviously you don't want to be inhaling mold. So just be looking out for those things that don't necessarily look.
Yeah, I've seen like around the air vents in the ceilings, like some black, and I don't know if it's dust that has, or if it's
On the supply
mold.
vents?
Yeah,
It depends,
yeah.
right? It
I
could
mean,
be
I know you said
dust.
you have to test it, but
Yeah, so
most
from
of the time,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
most of the time, is it dust or is that where mold?
It can be. It
Yeah.
depends,
'Cause
right? It
it's
could
moist,
be dust.
right? Yeah.
It depends because it's blowing out cold air. So your supply vents should be cleaned every so often, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your air filter is a big deal. Most
Yes.
people, I don't think people realize how important the air filter is for an AC system because that's what's keeping all of that dust and all those particles from getting up into your air handler coil. Because what's coming back in is what's coming out. So I would recommend replace that air filter once a month. I have it in my calendar, first of every month, just replace it because once that filter is clogged, it's going to affect the functionality of your system. You want a system that's going to continuously run at its optimal level. Service it once a year. That way it doesn't
That's
overwork
great.
itself. You know, it's
Yeah.
just one of those things. Maintenance
Great
goes
tips,
a
yeah.
long
Great
way.
tips.
Yeah, it's just,
Thank
I
you,
tell
Phil.
people, if you maintain it, things last. If you don't, they tend to deteriorate prematurely.
It's like a car.
It's like anything in life.
It's like
Your
anything,
health,
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
even
your
your
health.
health too. You know, you gotta
Be
look out for your
healthy,
health.
exactly.
Yeah, things don't go bad from one day to another, especially in homes. It takes sometimes it's an
Yeah.
ongoing thing. So it's just you got to be in tune with this stuff. A lot of people come to live in a house after they've rented. They don't realize that there's maintenance
much
that
maintenance.
goes into
Yeah.
a house, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
part of your job. You own a house. If you don't want an expensive bill for something that's damaged down the road, take care of it now.
That's awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
think we pretty much covered everything. Are you
Yay.
ready for a fun rapid fire game?
Let's do
so
it.
this is what we usually do on all of our shows.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I start. Worst thing you've ever found in an attic?
Oof, I found. Ooh, yeah, I've seen droppings. I have not actually. Okay,
Ew.
actually, I take that back. I've seen bats in an attic.
Like live ones or
Whoa.
dead
Live
ones?
bats.
Live?
It was a two-story townhouse. Oh, I won't forget this. It's a two-story townhouse. The attic access is in their laundry room. The moment you walk into the laundry room, it smells like pee because they pee and poop up there. So he's like, hey, I'm there to do a wind mitigation, so I have to get in the attic. He goes, oh, by the way, there's bats in there. Probably should have known about this before. I'm like, hey, man, I can't go into your attic if there's bats. Like, they're alive? He goes, yeah, they're up there, and we can't get them out because bats, from what I recall, I said there's certain seasons where they're active and not, and so they have to install something to where they can get out, and then it's basically a door that closes so they can't get back in, and so they're protected, so you can't take them out and kill
wow.
them. So I would probably say bats, and because they make a mess, and there's a lot of them. So you're talking about droppings, you're talking about.
This was in Tampa?
This is in Tampa.
Oh, wow.
Tampa, yeah. So that's probably one of the
Beware
worst.
of bats,
Uh,
guys.
beware of
Batman.
bats.
Batman in the attic.
Yeah, Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, I'll stay out
He's
of
like,
the
I'm
attic when
out.
it comes to that. Yeah, but crawl space. Oh, there's some stuff I've seen in crawl spaces.
Well, that
too.
was my next question. Scariest crawl space moment.
A big spider. Like I'm crawling a crawl space, and I have my flashlight, and if you could imagine a reflection coming back, I shine my light and something reflected back at me. So I went back and there were eyes. So you can only imagine the size of the spider. So
God.
these eyes reflected back at me. I don't think you can really run out of a crawl space, but I think
You
I ran.
ran.
I don't
Like,
think I've ever
literally.
gone anywhere faster. Like I crawled, ran, whatever I had to do to get. I don't think I've ever gone faster. I didn't want to stay around to see what it was
Oh
or
my
how
gosh.
big it was.
Huge
All I did was see the
spider.
eyes. I'm like, oh, I'm out. No way.
No.
And it's tough in a crawl space. It's tricky because whatever's under there, they have the advantage over me. Like I'm crawling, cats,
Yeah.
rats, whatever it
You
may
win.
be. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
scary.
Yeah,
That
crawl
part
spaces
right
are
there is the one that.
But we got to do it. So if a house has a crawl space, that's where the foundation is, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's the most important part of the house. So we got to crawl it. So, but if it's all exposed, and if I see something in there, like if I see
Yeah.
an animal in there,
You already
I
know what to
can't-
look for.
I can't go into there because again, if it's a cat and it feels threatened by
So
me.
wait, what happens then? Like if you see an animal,
I
what
have
do
to
you put
put
on
it
the
on the
report? There's
report.
like an animal in
There's
there.
an
Can
animal
I
in the
get
report.
access to it?
It's got to be removed before I can get in because you think about it. Like if a cat has rabies for
Yeah, you
whatever
never know.
reason, and
Yeah.
it decides to attack me, like it will get the best of me while under there. Now I do put on a suit, but it's just like one of those painter suits.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of protects me, but like if something's gonna.
But
come
you're
by
melting
me,
under that thing, especially in this
Yes.
weather right
Oh,
now.
Okay, the crawl space isn't as bad in this weather. The attic is what's tough because it is. I can't be in the attic more than 10 minutes. It's like a sauna.
Yeah.
It's like I tell
Especially
people,
this
it's like,
heat in summer.
that's why I tell people, like, hey, if you wanted a sauna, you just go into your attic. It's
I'm going to.
It's
yeah, there
great.
you go.
Yeah.
You got your own built-in sauna. Yeah.
What's the most common issue you see in houses when you're inspecting?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. Something that's common. I see electrical issues on almost every home. There's at least one electrical issue, and believe it or not, I would say probably 9 out of 10 homes when I test the AC to see if it's properly functioning and cooling, it's usually not. So it could be from a delayed maintenance. So usually we'll test the supply vents and the returns to see the differential in temperature, but most of the time, probably
Electrical.
9 out of 10,
And-
9 out of 10 times the AC is not properly cooling, and there's at least one electrical item. So if you get a report from me that there's no electrical items, that's kind of crazy because
That's
there's at
like,
least something in the
check.
panel. Yeah, there's an outlet that's not working, something, or electrical line that's not in conduit that needs to be protected.
Or duct tape. I've
Yeah,
had some
something,
of those.
yeah. So usually electrical or if the AC, I would say those are the
Okay.
most common.
Nice.
That makes sense. Those are the ones I most commonly see on the reports too.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay, so what's your least favorite inspection type?
And why?
I can't say I have a least favorite because, I mean, I get to see something new every day. So it is kind of cool to be able to see something different, but I'm not a big fan of crawl spaces.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's just, again, you just don't know what's
The
underneath
animals,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't know, especially if it's that white crawl space siding. That's always damaged, so it leaves room for things to get in. If you have a stucco siding,
Snakes. Oh,
anything
gosh.
can get in there. Yeah, so I would
Wait,
say
what?
those are the least desirable for me, I would say.
Got
The day
it.
I have to get in the crawl space, they're not as fun.
Yeah. So you rather get in the hot attic?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, there's less things that can get into the attic.
Yeah, no, I
as
get
opposed
it.
If it's ground level, anything.
I
can
get
in
it.
the crawl
I get
space.
it.
There's a lot more things that can come and get
True.
in the crawl space.
Go ahead.
Do we have another one?
Yes.
Talk to me.
All right. So, have you ever opened the closet and wish you didn't?
I have not run into anything like that. I have seen pictures of other people that have seen some stuff.
One time
Dungeony stuff.
I opened the door and there's a whole bunch of things coming at me at the same
That
time.
fell
I was
on
like,
you?
oh my god, I had to.
They
it's
touched
storage
you?
in a no. It
Oh,
was like
my
a whole
goodness,
bunch
yeah.
of things. They just shoved
They shoved
everything
in.
into
Yeah,
that closet, and I was like,
Waiting
oh
to
no.
be open and fall on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have,
Never.
unfortunately, have not run into that. I've seen some unique things in houses and
That's
closets
funny.
and stuff like that. Probably off camera that we could talk about. I've seen some things on the roofs that were a little strange too, but
Okay.
nothing like anything falling on me.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite tool?
My favorite tool. I love my sewer scope camera. I really do. It's like I find it so interesting just to be able to go to see something that most people can't see because I'm putting a camera down and we're going all the way out to see what it looks like. So you see some interesting things in the sewer scope. I've got a large array of tools. I love my thermal camera too because that kind of gives me eyes on things that I might not be able to see. So the thermal's a really good one, but I love my sewer scope camera because it's just something that's a little different.
Is
that
it kind of
makes it-
operated like like a remote control car with like a screen or?
So it does have a screen, but it's not remote controlled. So it's a cable. So it's a camera at the end of a cable, and we put it down the sewer line, and we push it all the way down until we can get to the end of the line, basically where it drops into the main sewer or the septic. But not that it's remote controlled, but we have to manually push it in. But it's a live camera feed, so I'm seeing while it's going down. It's just
You're
a live
seeing
feed.
everything.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's very
That
interesting.
is pretty cool. All right, the last one. This one's really serious,
All right,
Phil.
talk to me.
In Sync or Backstreet Boys?
Backstreet Boys. And what about you guys? You guys gotta give me your answer too.
I think In Sync for me. I was a Justin Timberlake fan.
I
fair.
was actually a fan of Britney Spears. I was obsessed with her.
Okay, that's fair.
So none of those guys. Sorry.
Okay.
No, none. Okay, that's fair.
She was like, "Are you really gonna ask him that?" I'm like, "Why not?"
Why not? It's a fun question. Do you have any other fun questions that you want to ask me? I'm here for it.
Go ahead. No.
That was it. I didn't
was it.
prepare for it.
I have some fun facts. I speak 3 languages.
Oh,
if you guys
neat.
want to take a gander.
What are
Really?
Yeah,
okay?
take
What
a
are the
gander.
languages? German,
No.
French,
Portuguese.
Yes.
Portuguese. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, got
Wow.
it.
You
Okay.
never-
So
nobody-
English, Portuguese, and
Similar to Portuguese.
Spanish.
Español.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
Spanish.
There we go.
Español.
That's
All
a really good guess. Nobody ever asked.
How did you
everybody
guess
says
that?
I don't
yeah.
know. I
Most
got
people are like,
lucky
dude,
today.
you're white. You don't probably speak any other. The
didn't
best
know
is
you-
when
you-
people talk to, like, start speaking another language, and it's like, I can
Good.
understand what you're saying, so don't say anything bad, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
We may have you on for a Spanish version. That'd be
that
nice.
Would you
works
be
for me.
comfortable doing one in Spanish?
Yes, so my Spanish, I would say I'm fluent in Spanish, but obviously since I don't use it all the time, there's certain words that I break up. So I would like to say I speak a little Portuñol, which is Portuguese and Spanish
Okay.
mixed, but I can get I can understand all of Spanish. I can get by Spanish.
What
I
about
took-
Spanglish? We talk
We
a
can
little
speak
Spanglish.
Spanish. Yeah, I took 3 years of Spanish in high school. So, and then Portuguese is very similar to Spanish. And when I was in college, I worked at a restaurant where the whole kitchen only spoke Spanish. So it was perfect. I had to get by, so we
Yeah.
only spoke Spanish to the kitchen staff.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Well, we have a lot of Spanish-speaking clients, and I'm sure there's a lot of our audience that speaks Spanish. So,
Yes.
Phil, if someone wants to get in touch with you, first of all, tell us what locations do you handle
Cover.
or
So I
cover?
go pretty much all over. We've gone. I mean, I'm up in Spring Hill, so I'll go north, Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, Brandon,
Okay.
Riverview. Go out there. I've gone as far as Sarasota. Just becomes a little far, but I'll go down there for the
Okay,
clients that
so
need it.
Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas.
Pinellas.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Orange,
Hernando?
is that like Hernando, I think. It's
Okay.
like Orange County, which is near Citrus, so it's a little bit north.
North. Okay.
So a little
Okay.
wide array. We try to. I mean, you guys are all over the place, which
We are.
we try to go where you guys
whole
stay.
state
In
of
life
Florida.
and in work.
And right, that's what you should do. Have a little fun too.
So how can our listeners get in touch with you if they needed to schedule an inspection?
Call, text, email, social media, whatever works. I'd like to say I'm very responsive. I try to respond to everybody as fast as I can. If you need something immediately, call me. If I don't answer, leave me a voicemail. I usually can see now. I love the fact that the voicemail shows up, who's leaving the voicemail, what they're saying.
Oh,
That way I can
yes.
shoot you a text, like, hey, I'm at an inspection. I'll call you right back. Or if you need something ASAP and I can't answer, just shoot me a text. I'm going to try to respond to you as fast as I can. I think,
Perfect.
in real estate where things are always moving so fast, I like to at least try to get in touch with you. Like if reports need to be updating, I'd like to have it updated day of because things are always moving. So, but contact me. I'll definitely reach out to you.
Sounds good. We will link all your contact information below.
Yes. So shout out to all the inspectors. You guys definitely save our clients so many headaches.
Well, thanks to you guys too for
And
sending
money.
us business.
And money, lots of money,
Yes.
Yeah.
for
Oh,
sure.
That too. That's our job.
All right. If you guys have any questions, you can reach us at keepingitrealty@gmail.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, do not forget to click the bell so you never miss an episode.
Share this episode and follow us on Instagram at keepingitreal_T.
See you next time on Keeping It Realty.
Thank you all for tuning into our podcast. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at keepingitreal_T and share this episode with all your friends.
If you guys have any questions and topics that you guys would like for us for future episodes, let us know. Shoot us a message. We would love to hear from you guys.
See you next time on Keeping It Realty.